Well, I've been a pet owner before and have had the thought about my dog. I wish I could talk. And I've looked at my dog and say, oh, what is he trying to say? Well, I'm betting I'm not alone. So we turn to animal communicator Joan Ranquet. Hello, good morning, Joan.
Good morning.
So many pet owners here in Denver that probably wonder the same thing. And we'll get into the questions in a minute. But first, tell us about yourself and how you got into this.
Well, my name is Joan, and I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And I teach people animal communication, and I teach people energy healing. But I got into it because of a beloved horse, and it took me down the path of just wanting to know more, looking at her, wanting to connect on a deeper level, and so I went way down the rabbit hole.
Wow, that is so fascinating. Now, there's a lot of nonverbal cues our pets give us all the time. Let's get into a few. Why do pets sometimes just stare at their owners? And it goes on for quite some time, but what's behind that?
You know, I think there's a couple of things. I mean, one thing could be they maybe need something, but the main thing I think is that they just really, really, really love us and want to connect. And I think sometimes the love is so big that there aren't words involved, and we don't know how to do that, right? So
Right.
It's deep, deep love.
Oh, that's so good to know. Now, what about the licking? Dogs lick their owners themselves. It's a lot, oftentimes. What is up with that, and why do they do that?
I mean, sometimes I think about like a little drive-by lick might be like, hi, I love you. And another bigger lick might be, I'm demanding something. And then licking themselves can often be about anxiety.
Okay.
Or an injury. They might have an injury somewhere and they're just continue to lick and lick and lick.
How can you tell the difference between those and say, okay, there might be something wrong, or this is just something that they do?
I mean, the main thing is if you're going to a spot where they're licking a lot, you might check for heat, you might go to the veterinarian, you might see if there's a difference in their gait and how they're carrying themselves, but otherwise it could be an allergy or an anxiety.
Okay.
And, yeah.
It's so interesting. Now, barking, of course, meowing is another big one. But how do we tell the difference between them wanting attention or them altering us to something?
I think the biggest thing is getting quiet.
Alerting us.
Yeah, and getting quiet and just understanding, is this an alert? Is this them just being needy? Is this them wanting to just say, hey, this is fun?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell the difference sometimes. And again, it seems like pets, and I had a poodle for 10 years. A lot of times he would disobey on purpose. Is this true? And do they do that?
Certainly they can, but I would say that also sometimes he may have really been having fun.
Oh my gosh, okay.
But a lot of times with behavior, there's behaviors that we think are bad behaviors, and they're just doing dog stuff or cat stuff. So,
Okay.
and you know, I just think it depends on the personality. So yours may have been doing it on purpose.
On purpose. Well, and poodles are really playful like that. Well,
Yeah.
Are there any red flags or warning signs we should watch out for when it comes to our pets?
I mean, I think the biggest things, if you see your animal being lethargic or a big behavior change or a change in wanting to eat or engage with others, those are kind of the main telltale things.
Okay, so look out for when they are lethargic. Now, is there a difference here, Joan, between being stubborn or just behaving badly, doing things on purpose?
Yeah, I think there are some. I have a stubborn one, and I have a naughty one. So, I think that it just the stubborn ones, you know, they're being stubborn, and then you have to kind of redirect and work around them.
Oh gosh, yep. Well, Teddy was good for the most part, but there were times when I think he did things on purpose. But you never know. You never know. It's so hard.
I always think that you know best, so he probably was doing it on purpose.
Okay, so go with your gut and
Yes.
your instinct. Well, tell us about your book and what people can find in this book or learn from.
Well, it's emotional freedom technique for animals and their people. And so EFT is I call it an energetic body work where you're tapping on acupressure points that are connected to meridians, that are connected to organs. And in Chinese medicine, they believe those are connected to emotions. And so you can tell a story about a challenging situation while tapping on these feel-good points, and then eventually get to the outcome. So if, for example, Teddy was being naughty, you could have been like, I can't help myself. You would have been tapping on him on the same points, and I have all the charts in there for the people and the animals, but you would tap on him about, you know, having fun, maybe being destructive or whatever it is, and then eventually like, I'm gonna be calm. So you would almost tap him through to the behavior that you want.
Okay, so much good stuff in that book. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I always find it fascinating if we could talk to our pets, what they would say, right? Well, you can learn so much more about that in this book. And Joan's book, I'm sorry, is on her website. It's joanranquet.com. Go to that website if you would like to learn more or get a copy of her book.